Oh,
Josh,
it's good, brother.
how are you?
Doing good, man. Doing real
Dude,
good.
this is long awaited. We've been wanting to do
Well,
this for a while. This has all been my fault. I'm sorry.
nah, nah, you're good, man.
Sorry I was late, fashionably late. I was sitting at my desk where I normally do my stuff, and I was like, this setup kind of sucks. There's just blinds behind me. So like last minute I was like moving things around, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go over to this other side of the shop where there's actually some cool stuff. So I'm in the cool section right now.
Yeah, yeah, you're not used to having the camera facing that way most of the time, right? So,
No,
on tip,
definitely not.
yeah,
I come from a background where I used to have the camera facing towards me all the time, and then I got over it. I was like, I'm good.
no, yeah, awesome, man. But I appreciate you taking the time joining me and putting some of your business on hold. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been watching your channel actually since you first started it. I think when you had like 50 subscribers or something is when I jumped on. So I think you're approaching 1,000 now, right?
Getting close, man. We're 750 almost. So
Let's
it's
go. Let's
yeah,
go.
it's pretty wild. Yeah, it's this all started after TikTok, so it kind of transitioned. I think I met you through TikTok before I started YouTube, so that's probably makes sense for sure.
Yeah,
Crazy.
honestly, I forgot how we met. Actually,
Really?
I just remember starting to watch your videos.
Oh man, you'll remember. You'll remember when I refresh your memory. So I'm just gonna do a quick intro. I'm gonna introduce you, and then I'll introduce how we met, which
Okay, great.
happened to be through TikTok. So this is Mike from Poke-Swagg shop. We're not live by any means. We're this more personal recording, interview style discussion. So,
Great.
yeah. So Mike from the Poke-Swagg shop here with me in podcast episode 12, I think. So again, appreciate you coming on, Mike. Gonna get deep into your whole background, collecting journey, what's going on with you, your business that you're operating out in California, which is pretty close to my sister. Actually, I think she lives out in LA right now. So it's definitely have to hook up something. I think you're out in LA, right?
Yeah, dude, I'd love to
So
go to Frankensons or something together sometime.
that'd be sick. So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all over the social medias. I don't think you're on Twitter, right? Or you might be, just not
No,
as
but
yeah.
with Elon Musk buying Twitter, I may just go over.
It could be happening, man. You better jump in now. So um I wonder if he'll let Donald Trump back in. That'll be interesting.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've always been against Twitter because I feel like anybody that goes on Twitter is just looking for a fight, and there's never. I remember in high school, everybody was just like, "Oh yeah, they said some stupid shit on Twitter. We're fighting about it." I'm like, I'm gonna stay off Twitter because I already get in enough trouble.
Yeah. So me and just to give everybody an idea, I met you through TikTok. I had posted a video of me cracking a Zapdos slab
uh-huh.
with a power drill, I believe it was, or a knife, one of the two. It was a really bad decision either way. And you had basically did not a skit with it, but stitched it. You stitched it. So you had like shown my video and then shown yourself just like bashing me, like, dude, don't anybody ever do this. You're gonna cut your hand open. This guy's an idiot. I'm like, damn.
You're like, no, honestly, I don't remember that at all. I
Yeah.
vaguely remember doing a video like that, but I
Yep.
really don't remember the
You
situation. So that's kind
you
of funny.
posted that and it went to like 30,000 views pretty rapidly.
Oh, like the
And I
one
was
video I have that does well.
it did well. Yeah. It did pretty well. It makes sense because usually when people are stabbing knives towards their hands, people get all upset and it usually ends in views. So but yeah, that's how we met, man. And it kind of I didn't really care what you did on TikTok or how you came at me like that at all. It was all fun on TikTok. So yeah, so did you yourself, what's kind of your come up through this? Like tell me back in the 90s or late 80s, I don't know how old you are, but where's your collecting journey start?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say I'm sorry for bashing you.
It's all
And that
good.
goes to show that even if you get on the wrong foot with somebody, you can become really great friends. So that's cool that it happened in that way. Um, so I'm actually 23 years old. A lot of people think I'm older than I am. So I'm still a youngling.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
but yeah, so my first encounters with Pokemon as a kid were actually pretty vivid because they just meant so much to me. So I remember just the entire situation in such detail. So when I was younger, my school had a library that we'd go to visit like every week, and they started to advertise Diamond and Pearl, the video game.
yeah.
And I started to see like little
Wow.
bookmarks and things, and I was like, I never done Pokemon. Like I should get into that. So I started with Diamond and Pearl as far as video games go, and then I definitely worked my way back to like Fire Red and Emerald, and that was the cool stuff. But the big catcher for me was when I was a kid, and it's funny because I was talking about this today. EX Delta species booster packs. We've been opening them at the shop recently.
Yep.
That was the first booster pack I opened up as a kid, and I pulled a Salamence, and I actually have the exact Salamence right here. Not the exact one I pulled, but the artwork. I don't know if you could see that very well. Here, let me grab my phone. Hold on. So I pulled this Salamence from
Yeah.
Delta Species, and it was so cool as a kid because I don't know if you've ever held Delta Species cards, but they're like fiery.
Oh yeah.
Like they're super cool. So once I opened that pack and I pulled that Salamence on my first pack, I was like super hooked with Pokemon, and then I just kind of delve into the TCG and the video games in full.
Hell yeah. So was there ever a gap where you weren't into Pokemon? Like, because you had started Diamond and Pearl era, which put you around what age? I don't even know. Diamond 10ish.
Yeah, like around 9, 10, yeah.
So was there a gap in between there where you kind of were out of Pokemon, or is it?
Yeah, so I collected for years, and then we kind of get to that stage where we're in middle school or high school, whatever, and then I everybody in this sense has it good now, but back in like 2007, if you were like being a nerd, everybody was making fun of you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
you were shut down as a nerd back in the day. And that could have been anything, not just Pokemon. That could have been anime and Star Wars and everything. So um, that's one of the things I like about modern culture now is everybody is super nerdy, and it's like it's cool to be a nerd now. But back then, it started to get to that age where I was still wanting to collect Pokemon cards and video games, and everybody was just hitting it down so many times. And I was like in 8th grade playing Platinum on my DS, getting made fun of, and I'm like, dude, like, I just want to enjoy Pokemon, and I finally just put it down, and I was like, I guess I can't enjoy this as an adult anymore. And then this may be controversial, but fast forward to 2020, Logan Paul posted his video on Pokemon, and it literally that 3-minute video changed my entire life because I realized in that moment like we can collect Pokemon as adults now, and it'll be cool, and it's more welcome now than it was 10 years ago. And it finally gave me the confidence I needed to be like, dude, I'm doing this. Because even as an adult, when when Gary went on Pawn Stars, I watched that video when it first came out, and I told
Yeah.
my dad, I was like, man, I really want to start collecting Pokemon, but I know everybody's gonna just hound me for it, and
Yeah.
now I don't really give a heck what anyone says. But back when I was growing up, everybody cares so much about what people think.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Exactly. It's crazy how that goes, man. So you got back into it when Logan did his box break, or what video was it? You said it was
it
three
was the
minutes.
first video that he announced that he had bought the box and he had gotten into Pokemon. And I showed like every single person I knew that video, and I kept watching it over and over again. And because I have an editing background,
Yep.
I went to film school and I was a YouTube editor for several years. And Hayden, the editor of that video, and Logan's editor, he's a genius. He's like the best in the business when it comes to YouTube editing. And if you really pay attention to like how that video is edited, it's just so beautifully edited, and they basically changed Pokemon forever with that one videos. And I knew it as soon as I watched it. I was like, everything's gonna change. Like, this is crazy. So I was all ramped up and excited, and I'm like, I'm gonna get into buying Pokemon cards again. And we're all sitting at home on unemployment, and there's not much to do. So I'm just, I had all the time in the world to just dive in, and yeah.
So time frame, when do you know when he posted that? Because I know he did his box break in October of that year. So how soon before that was that video posted? I don't even remember.
So
any
he posted
ideas?
October 3rd.
Oh, really?
October 3rd, 2020, and then his box break, I believe, was October 14th, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it was a little bit before then.
Yeah, so I've only been in it since June of 2020. So I came into it just before that. Wish I dove in much deeper before the big boom.
Right.
But I still was able to reap some benefits of the big boom, which was nice. Crazy. I've not talked to somebody on my podcast your age starting in Diamond and Pearl. That's awesome. So were you able to go back? Have you played the original Blue and Red at all, or no?
So I've played Fire Red. I've played Emerald, Sapphire, Pearl, Platinum, Soul Silver. But I don't think I've played the original Red and Blue, which is sad. I need to take some time to allocate to that.
Emulate it.
Man, they're so much fun to play. And every time I play them, I get so excited. They're so fun to play.
Oh yeah. So you obviously still into Pokemon. You own your Poke-Swagg shop. Where is it basically it's all on Facebook, right? Is where you're doing your pack breaks, box breaks, pack sellings, also grading cards for the people that open packs. Which is pretty awesome. So getting a lot of 10s. I think I've seen quite a few 10s, some 9s. I think you just had an 8 come. That was pretty surprising, but
we just got a 10 today. So we've opened several Delta Species packs in the past, and why it got brought up again today is recently we've opened 3 packs of Delta Species on the at the shop, and all 3 packs were insane. One pack had an Espeon and a Salamence holo, because in that era you can have 2 holos. The reverse holo is actually even more valuable for people not knowing. So we had an Espeon and a Salamence in one pack. The other pack had an Umbreon reverse holo, and then the other pack had a Crobat and a Dragonair. So just absolutely incredible packs. And EX Delta Species is by far the hardest pack for me to get that I open. We've opened maybe about 7 before, including these 3. So whenever I get one, I'm just like really hoping that it's worthwhile. And so I couldn't have been more happy with the results. And the person, there was 2 people that opened the 3 packs. It was my buddy Brant and my other buddy Jordan. And Jordan's a Dragonite and Umbreon collector, and he pulled both cards. Yeah, and it was just like crazy. So we graded 4 of the 5 hits, everything but the Crobat, and every single one came back a 10 from PSA, which it's unheard of even in what I do. I mean, I've opened up 800 vintage packs this year, just about, and to open 3 packs and pull 4 10s of like really high value cards was really, really cool. That was super special. I think the Crobat would be a 10. We just haven't graded it yet. Jordan's now thinking about grading it because everything else has gotten a 10. He's like, well, if we're on a 10 train, might as well.
Gotta send it, man. Send it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I couldn't think of a better set to have a streak like that with, in my opinion. I mean, it's all based on what you like. But for me, what I like, and Delta Species being my first pack ever, I'm just ecstatic about it. So I'm on cloud 9 today. I'm feeling good. I get really excited when I pull people good cards and when I get everybody 10s. It's a good day.
Yep. Hell yeah. So like I've seen some of your collection through TikTok, Instagram, everything. And you have Gold Stars, Crystal Charizards. You're a big fan of Japanese cards. The unlimited ones, it seems you chase for most of them because they're more rare. There's a couple sets where that's not the case, it seems. But do you usually buy those through like Buyee, or like what drew you to those cards? Because it was kind of before the Diamond and Pearl era.
Yeah. So as a kid, what really got me heavy into opening up packs was the Gold Star Rayquaza. That was like of the time, and it still is, which is awesome. I love that it gets as much love as I loved it as a kid, because I don't really remember talking to anybody else about the card when I was a kid, but that was a card that was like, I will open as many packs as it takes to get it, and I never did, unfortunately, which makes sense because that card is just hard to pull. But yeah, so one of my first things I did when I got back into collecting was I looked at that card, and I was like, well, now I'm an adult, so what does this card look like? And I was quickly shot down by the $50,000 price tag of a PSA 10. And I have OCD, so I'm very I like to see the 10. So I could have got a raw one or whatever, but I was saying to myself, like, I never really liked the yellow border on the Gold Stars to begin with, unless it was the Flareon Gold Star is the only one I've ever liked with the gold border, and the Pikachu maybe. So I was like, you know, and then somehow I started thinking about Japanese, and then I started seeing they have silver borders. I started seeing that they were more affordable and more rare, and I started thinking to myself, like, not only are these like better printing quality, like they're the original language of Pokemon, these are so slept on. And I knew right away when I saw it, like, not only can I thoroughly enjoy these, but I can thoroughly enjoy them before everybody else is looking at them, because everybody's looking at base set right now, and everybody's, you know, October 2020. Everybody was looking at the beginning of WotC, and it was only a matter of time before everybody had made their way to, you know, through the ropes, because you always start at base set and you work your way up, and then people would be turning to Japanese. And I told everybody I knew at the time, I was like, Japanese is where it's at. Japanese is going to blow up. Put value aside. If you want these cards and you're passionate about the Japanese cards, get them before it's going to cost you even more. So I bought a Kyogre, which is the one you're
What are you selling me tonight?
You're like, sell me that.
I got my checkbook ready. Let's go.
Yeah, so I got that card for really cheap. I got it for only $800. It's a Pop 11. I was like ecstatic about it. It's a PSA 10. And so I was like, okay, I got the Kyogre now. I need the Groudon and the Rayquaza. And then that card I actually got from Arizona. And somebody was selling it raw. They had sent me a few videos and pictures, and they wanted $2,000 for it, which $2,000 is a lot of money. Like
for the Rayquaza.
Yeah, and for me, like, I've never spent $2,000 on anything before this date, let alone a Pokemon card. Like, this was insane for me. And I'm sure everybody can relate to that, because we've all spent a ridiculous amount of money on Pokemon, and there's always that first time where you really go crazy and you're like, this is insane. So that was my first time where I was like, dude, this is like, I was already spending a mountain load of money on Pokemon in general, just because I was so excited about being back in the hobby and really trying to build up a collection ASAP. So I ended up buying it for like $2,200, and I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever, but this is the coolest thing ever. And then I got it, and it looked really clean, and the plan was to immediately send it to PSA to hope for the 10, because I really did want a 10, but I just couldn't afford it. So I was like, dude, this is the one shot, the one chance, 10, baby, all the way. I sent it in, and I did the express 2 days, so it was like $300 at the time. Because I'm very impatient. I'm like, give me the grade now.
I feel you.
Yeah, so I'm sitting in the store just like refresh. My dad is dragging me on some errands with him. We were doing something, and so then I refresh it, and I get a notification on my phone that I've been charged the $300. I'm like, let's go. And I look at it, and it's a 10. I start screaming in the store. My dad's like, you need to get the hell out of here right now. You're embarrassing the hell out of me. I'm like, no, you don't understand how great this is. So then, yeah. So ever since then, I really just started to look into Japanese a lot more, and just kind of, I collect a lot of English too, but Japanese is where I spend, like, if I'm going to buy something super expensive or exclusive, I always go the Japanese route, because it's just, I don't know, the populations are really low. It's fun. I like the silver border. Printing is better. So I've bought Japanese cards all over the world. Malaysia, you know, America, anywhere, Japan. I've done some Bai experiences. My Crystal Charizard was a Bai experience. They actually sent that in a envelope. I was not happy about that.
I think I saw that. Yeah.
So it somehow made its way across the world, and it got missent like 6 times in the mail, and it got lost and everything. And I was like, I had like 4 supervisors at USPS on it, and I was having them like tear the whole place apart. And then we finally found it, and then I graded it. That one got a 10 too. So I was in cloud nine. I was like, I don't know how that happened.
In an envelope, yeah, it's
Yeah.
insane. It was top loaded though, right? In an envelope or no?
Yes, it was top loaded, but I mean, still across the world in a yellow flimsy envelope. It was or green envelope. I have the envelope framed. It's just in. I should have brought it down. I moved shops and I still have some stuff in my old location because my dad is moving into that old office. But I have the envelope framed. I'm like, after all this trouble, like this is getting framed. I'm keeping this forever.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome, man. And any eyes set on the next gold star, or any looking at any of those right now, or not?
yeah, I mean, I'm very passionate about finishing the Unlimited set in PSA 10. I don't think anybody has ever done that. People have done first edition and people have done English, but nobody's done the Unlimited PSA 10 set. It's extremely hard. The populations on those are very hard, and people want such a premium for them. I'm definitely, that is my number one goal as a collector, is to finish that Gold Star set in Unlimited. But where it gets fishy is does that include Umbreon and Espeon and Flareon and Jolteon and Vaporeon? Technically, they're not unlimited and they're kind of their own thing. But I'm focused on finishing that set and then tackling those. I have a huge soft spot for the Espeon, but there's no way I could possibly afford a card like that.
Yeah, it's that's a little steep for me. Yeah, gold stars aren't usually my thing, but man, that Kyogre, it's does something for me, man. It's I absolutely love Kyogre. For whatever reason, I played the piss out of Sapphire. And that was the first Pokemon I ever upgraded to level 100 naturally without tons of rare candies cheating. So it was he's got a soft spot in my heart for sure.
Yeah, I've always had a soft spot as Kyogre, for Kyogre myself growing up. I just always thought his design was really cool. All three of them, Groudon and Rayquaza. So I will keep my eyes out for a PSA 10 Unlimited, and if I see one, I'll let you know because I'd love to help you get one.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I should have bought. There was a gold. It was one of the Collecticons. It was a PSA 10 Gold Star, English one. Somebody picked it up. Somebody bought it for $3,000, which was the market price, I'd say. Then it kind of dropped a little after that, and I don't know where it's at now. Probably around there still, but I should have bought it. I should have bought it, but oh well. Sometimes you live and learn. I haven't really seen one go for sale in an auction or anything since, so
Yeah,
that's the way it goes.
yeah. Call me crazy, but I feel like $3,000 is a really good deal for that card. I mean, that's out of a Delta species pack, which is so rare and so expensive. So to have a PSA 10 Gold Star out of that set is pretty awesome.
Yeah, rub it in. No.
A lot of people don't like the Kyogre and Groudon Gold Stars, but I think they're spectacular.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw. I got the amazing rare.
I saw that. You got a bunch of those.
He's spitting my bill right now. Yep. There's 3 perfect amazing rares. I have 2 of them.
That's so sick. And congratulations on your CGC first edition Charizard upgrade too.
Yep. I actually just flipped that one. Just flipped her. So I'm working my way towards the PSA 9. So it was pretty good. It was like $1,000 profit for a week's worth of work. So
that's awesome. Yeah, a lot of people I've seen online, they get mad at people who make money in the hobby, and I'm like, isn't that the American dream? Like, if you genuinely enjoy the hobby, to make money and spend money and just enjoy it, and it be profitable for you as well. So congratulations on that.
Yeah,
a lot of people like to hate on that. I'm like, that's what we're all striving for, is to enjoy something that we do for a living. So why not? You know?
Yeah. Perpetually buying and selling into the market through the boom. I took losses on some cards. I purchased PSA 10 Zapdos cards through the boom, and it is what it is. So buying and selling through the market, and don't want to spend my personal money if I don't have to, but I do still. So
yeah, I may be under the wrong impression, but I know you're super into your Zapdos cards. I assumed you weren't selling any of them, but did you have intentions to sell them?
Not really. So I have all my cards pretty much listed on eBay, a majority. except my Amazing Rare Kyogres and a handful of other cards. But all of my Zapdos cards are on eBay, just very overpriced. And a couple people have bought them. So when they
Wow.
sell, I usually turn around and buy a cheaper one off of eBay. So I don't, maybe it's because a couple of times I've had to buy from Japan. Maybe they just wanted to buy from somebody local that had it, but yeah, it's interesting. So but yeah, I'm not trying to sell them. I got
Yeah.
a lot of other things I need to sell before though. So
Yeah, in my experience, a lot of people get really scared off buying things out of the country and buying things on eBay too, and just a handful of other things like that. People really find value in dealing with somebody they've dealt with before and things like that. So I could easily see somebody spending more money with you just because you're in the country, and maybe they even know who you are through your
yeah,
YouTube channel or something.
trusted seller. Yeah, I don't know. It's I also need to consider as this grows, maybe not doing that because maybe somebody does just want to overpay because of who it's coming from, which I find it like it's hard to believe that somebody would want to do that. But I just gotta stay humble and remember that type of stuff that I could have an influence on that, and probably I don't know, just
Oh yeah,
selling stuff overpriced when it doesn't need to be. So maybe I'd take some of my listings down that I don't plan on selling eventually, but right now they're there in case I need to flip a switch and sell something. So
yeah. People will pay a premium for dealing with somebody that they trust because there's a lot of fraud in the Pokemon um,
yep,
community. So, I mean,
yeah,
I deal with it all the time. It's overwhelming sometimes. But
yep,
yeah, I've sold cards that people have paid a premium for just because they know they're not going to get screwed over and have to run around in circles. So
yeah,
it very often.
yep. So when did you start the Poke-Swagg shops? Coming into the hobby in 2020, did you literally flip a switch and be like, let's do this now? Or
Yeah, so I was collecting like super rampantly, like I was explaining earlier, and
yeah,
I started to get involved in rip and ships, and it was really funny because as a customer, I was getting involved in rip and ships,
yeah,
and I remember the first time I ever heard of a rip and ship, and I was like, that is so stupid. That makes no sense. And then I joined one, and immediately I could see why it was so much fun. And I was like, oh my God, this is so much better because I didn't have a lot of friends that were into Pokemon. So I was like opening up packs for myself. And it was just so much fun to open up packs to the community, especially through COVID and stuff, developing something like that where you can all have fun together. And it started to make so much sense to me. And at first, it was the whole idea of rip and ship is really confusing. But then once you sit and watch and you participate, it becomes a lot easier to digest. So I always like to keep that in mind when I run my streams because for somebody first time seeing it, it can be really confusing. So yeah, I started getting involved in them like every weekend, and I was dragging my friends into Discord chats so that we can open up together and like send this guy money so that he can open up our packs and stuff. And I forgot what exactly happened, but like one day I was just like, I think I could do this better. Like I feel
yeah,
like I feel like there's so much potential here that people haven't reached, and not to sound like conceited or anything. I was just like, I saw it and I was like, I think this could be massaged a little bit more. And I think a lot of people are doing the rip and ship as like a grabbing money quickly and running kind of deal. But I feel like if you actually cared about it and massaged it and took some time and made it into a shop and branded it and did it right, that it could become something really beautiful, especially if you take the time to develop a community instead of just going live on Pokemon World or something. So
yep,
um, I started to do that, and then February 26th of 2021 is when I officially signed legal paperwork and stuff to like make my shop legit. And then I started ripping and shipping on different platforms on Facebook, like different little like forums and stuff. And then eventually I started to create my own Facebook page, and it really blew up super quickly. Like I was not expecting it to get anywhere near what it is now. I mean, this month we've opened up 4 vintage boxes along with like, I think we've opened up maybe 50 EX booster packs as well that were just loose. So
that's sick.
opening up these, yeah, it's a dream come true. It's like I would not rather be doing anything else. It's just so amazing to be able to do this every day and share it with a lot of the same people every weekend. We have like a little family going on, so it's fun when people join. And another thing that's really interesting is I would say about 40% of my clientele is women. So it's really nice when new girls come into the community, they don't feel like overwhelmed by like all the guys. It's like we have like a really nice balance there. I've always thought that was really interesting because that was another thing I did not expect at all.
Yeah, I'd say about 0.01% of my viewers are women. I guess I'm just hideous or so. I don't know. not that entertaining, I guess.
You're entertaining.
You're what you do though through Facebook's crazy to me because you have your own page, your own Facebook page. It's obviously it is Mike's store. It's not Whatnot. It's not Drip Shop. It is everyone's on that page just for you, and there's over 2,500 people. So basically, right?
It's at 4,000 now.
4,000? I swear. Oh, maybe that was it Instagram I just looked at as 2,500?
Instagram's at just under 2,000. I don't spend a lot of energy with Instagram.
I must have smoked a lot of dope. I don't know.
Well, we've been trying to put this together for like a couple months now. So maybe you checked it a while ago or something. It's been growing pretty quickly though.
Yeah, that's correct. Like when you started it, Whatnot did not exist though, correct? Everyone was doing it in Facebook groups, right?
So Whatnot was just starting, and what was very interesting to me was everybody was doing the Facebook groups and Whatnot, and that was another part where I was like, I feel like it could have been done better, and I was looking at the opportunity of everybody running to Whatnot, and I was like, everybody's running to Whatnot. What if I ran the other direction? So I'm like, everybody's, all respect to everybody on Whatnot. They're doing great, and but there's, to me, from the outside, on the limited information that I know about Whatnot and what I've seen, I don't feel much of a sense of community. And that was something that I felt was really important with my page, was that when Julie joins the chat, I know it's Julie. I see Julie every week. I can click on her. I know where she went to school. I know how old she is. I know where she lives. Not to sound stalky, but like I know who that person is, and they've become a part of my life. So it's really cool because everybody is like a regular. It's so fun. So we have people join the stream, and they always trade amongst each other, and they become friends. And sometimes I'll middleman deals for them and whatever. But everybody just feels really comfortable because they join the stream and they know everybody in the chat. They know who everyone is, and the vibe's just right. So Whatnot, every time I join the stream, it's with putting the streamers aside, because I have a whole. I don't like how they yell at people. Bid higher. I'm like, okay, chill out. But
do you do duck races?
Yeah, just joining, you don't really see. You see people joining and you see the numbers, but you don't like feel the community, if that makes sense.
No, 100%. I've joined a few Whatnots. They're usually the ones I'm joining are the people that I know in the community that do Whatnot stream. So I already know them. But yeah, it's definitely strange. I just asked, do you do duck races? Do you know what a duck race is?
No, I've never heard of that actually.
It's I don't know if they're doing it anymore on Whatnot, but basically what you do, you pretty much buy a position. So you place it's like a raffle. Essentially, you buy into this raffle of this card. There's 15 people that bought in, and then they put all these ducks on this river. It's like an application on a computer, and then the ducks are swimming, and then one person wins. It's like a carnival game, essentially.
That's so funny. That actually sounds like a little bit of fun.
I can't stand it, but it's hilarious to watch when you're not in it. It's
I bet.
It's an experience, that's for sure.
I'm surprised I've never seen that.
Funny.
I've seen people do that with crypto. I forgot what it's called, but people are doing that with crypto now, where they're doing horse races, where you buy like this crypto horse NFT, and then it like races, and you like race for money. I don't know how that works, but yeah, that seems to be a thing for everybody lately.
Yeah. So I guess on NFTs, other collectibles, are you into Anything else besides Pokemon or like what NFTs,
So
MetaZoo?
I'm a very stay in your lane kind of person. Like I don't touch. I'm not passionate about football or something. I'm never going to touch a football sports card. I'm not going to try to take that away from people who actually do enjoy that. And I feel like that's where a lot of problems were in 2020. Is like people going to the store and just like taking whatever they could so they could trade it with somebody later, maybe. But I'm not collecting anything else. However, and I'm not into crypto or anything like that. But I am obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh, and I have to like tunnel vision myself all the time because I know if I start collecting Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm gonna go broke. I have to be very like, okay, I'm not like, even when in like 2018, before the boom started, I went to like a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament and I competed. And I had to like hide it from all my friends. I was like, they're gonna have a field day with me if they find out I went to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. So like, I love playing the Yu-Gi-Oh game. I've actually never played the Pokemon game. I have no idea how to play it, but I collect Pokemon and I play Yu-Gi-Oh. So I do have a good time with Yu-Gi-Oh, but I can't. Every time I see the cards at like a card show or something, I'm like, nope, nope. I need to walk over to the Pokemon table. I've done enough damage.
Yeah, that's awesome. I am right there. Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon are my top two.
Yeah.
So when did you start playing Yu-Gi-Oh, or was 2018 the year for you?
No, oh my God, I was obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh since I was like, when the show first came out, I was like one of the first watchers. Like I couldn't believe it. And then I had a divorce with Yu-Gi-Oh when they ended the show and then did like Yu-Gi-Oh GX or whatever. I was so mad. I never got over it. And then I was like, they're just gonna throw Yami and everybody out the window and just start over. I was so mad about that. I was like, I couldn't believe it. So I was like, Yu-Gi-Oh sucks now, and I still to this day haven't fully gotten over it. But they did have a good story, and they told the story they needed to with the show and everything, and they moved on. Um, but yeah, I mean, even as an adult, I watch the show all the time, and I
Really?
love it. But I never moved past the original Yu-Gi-Oh. That's like the only stuff I'm into. So at the tournament, I got smacked because everybody had the new cards, and I'm not expect that. I'm coming out with like a like a dark magician. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be great.
Yeah. Yeah, your cheeks clap pretty hard.
Yeah, dude. It was like turn one, I was dead. I was like, how, dude? You just summoned like 50 people.
Yeah. I've been going down this rabbit hole. There's this thing called GOAT format for Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, I haven't heard that.
And it's basically like a 2006 ban list format. So it's like old Yu-Gi-Oh! And you can play it online or they have in-person tournaments and it's going to be expensive. It's
Dude, that
because
sounds
it's
super
is
fun.
is literally limited to old cards, so you're not getting smacked by stuff that
That's what I would do.
just pounds the board. So it's a nice change of pace. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's been expensive already. So
That sounds fun. So you when you play online, do you have to physically have the cards and you have a camera, or is it
no,
on?
so there's a site called Dueling Book, which you can create. You don't have to enter codes. It's like a third party created Yu-Gi-Oh game. Create any deck you want, and it's awesome. It's pretty awesome.
You just play people across the world?
Yep. You
Dude,
click a
I want to do
button,
that.
enter ranked, and it's searching, and then you find an opponent, and it's cool, man. You can make
Dude, that sounds
any decks
awesome.
you want. Yeah, it's
Can
very
you
cool.
play with a friend, or does it only search?
No, you have a friends list. You can play with friends. It's
Dude,
crazy.
that's sick. We should play sometime.
I got it. You don't have to install it. It's literally a website. I'll send
Dude,
it to you.
that's so cool. Yeah, they had an app on the phone for a while that they got rid of that they were basically doing that. And I went to town on it. I was so obsessed with it. I love playing it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, super fun.
Yeah, man. Having two collectible hobbies can be expensive.
Yeah,
when
big focus.
when's the Yugi swag shop coming?
Right, right. Yeah, exactly. Everybody's been like, "Are you gonna put Yu-Gi-Oh cards on the Rip and Chip?" I'm like, I can't, guys, because I will get obsessed with it. Like, I have to be super careful. I have an obsessive personality, so if I start to get into something, it'll run my life. So.
is this a full-time business for you, or are you still doing any YouTube editing?
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough when I started my business that everything fell perfectly into place in a way that I never even imagined myself. So within 3 months, I was full time.
Badass. That's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
So
That's awesome.
I've been full time ever since, and then I quit YouTube in October because I was double dipping, and it was like ridiculous hours. But then finally in October, I was like, I'm doing too well with my shop. I can move on,
Yeah.
which was a big deal to me because as a kid growing up, all I wanted to do was be a YouTube editor, and that's what I was doing for like 4 or 5 years. And I had kind of I was living the dream. So to walk away from that was definitely like a really special thing because it was like, wow, not only was I able to do that and enjoy it, but I was able to start something else myself that was even more enjoyable, and I could have walked away from that. So I've been very lucky so far, and I've been definitely counting my blessings and not taking anything for granted.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. And you said your dad's in the other shop right now. Does he help with the side business at all, or?
No, he has his own business completely, but I just had a different space upstairs that I moved away from into a bigger space, and he was like, "I'll take that old one." So he's running his insurance business in there, and so I have a few of my cards in there. He's been yelling at me to get out of there.
Yep, it just starts evolving and just building up around you. It's
He's like, "Can I have my own place now? It's been like 3 months. You need to get the hell out of here." And I'm like, I've just been so busy. I haven't been able to.
yep.
Yeah.
I think the Yu-Gi-Oh pack breaking. I don't know if because I'm in the Yu-Gi-Oh groups on Facebook as well, and I don't know if they just outlaw it. People can't do it, but it's not in the groups I'm in. And I swear to God, nobody on Whatnot is selling Yu-Gi-Oh rip and ships. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I feel like it's pretty untapped right now.
Oh yeah.
But there is the Poke-Rev of Yu-Gi-Oh, Ruxin. There's other ones, Samurai X, and it's still a thing. People watch people open Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but I could definitely see it taking half of your time, which you probably don't have time
Yeah.
to give up.
There was just a box break of Legend of Blue Eyes like last week. I forgot who did it, but I think they pulled a Blue Eyes White Dragon. I can't remember though. But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
there's not many box breaks or anything. It's untapped, and I think a lot of the reason is because of the same mindset we have, where we're just like, we're gonna go broke if we have to stay focused.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. How like because it's usually like a lot of people are like, man, rip and chips are a rip off. A lot of people say it, but it is a more of an experience you're paying for. You're not just paying. You're not walking into Mike's Poke-Swagg shop to buy this Evolutions booster pack for I don't even know what they're going for, but for usually probably a little bit over MSRP just for the pack or for the reverses. You're getting more of an experience. Is that kind of how you see it, or is there more to it as well?
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's hard to put into words. So for my shop, there's a lot of things that people go to my shop for. I I consider myself an expert in the space and not an expert in everything, just an expert in the stuff that I really like. So if you ask me something about Wizards of the Coast, I would tell you I'm not an expert in the Wizards of the Coast, but here's what I think, and you should get a second opinion on somebody who knows more than me. So I stay in my lane, and we open up a lot of EX, Diamond and Pearl, Platinum, Hard Gold, Soul Silver, Call of Legends, Modern, and Japanese. That's my bread and butter, and that's what I'm passionate about, and that's what I continue to be a quote unquote expert in, and same with the Japanese side of those eras. So a big thing when people join my rip and ship is they really enjoy my expertise. I will grade cards on like right as they're pulled. I'll take a look at them. I go, here's what I think they'll get, things like that. People really enjoy that. I always provide like a history lesson when I can on cards, the artworks. We're always talking about the illustrators and their backgrounds and things like that. Yeah. And for somebody, especially new people who are new to the hobby, it's really awesome for them to join because they learn so much and they're just like, wow, this is really cool. And there's been a huge development of community on my page. So it's just been really great in that sense too, where that's a huge part of the experience too, is you get to open up with all your friends and new friends and, you know, trade with people, and people will trade cards on the spot sometimes when they pull. So that's always really interesting. And so yeah, it's a part of the expertise and that. And then I'm always authenticating when it comes to the vintage packs. I'm authenticating packs and making sure they're not resealed or fake, and that they're weighing properly and things like that. So that's a whole nother thing too that people enjoys when they buy a pack from me. They know that pack is legit. Like there are some other rip and shippers that sometimes do have vintage packs, but they don't have the experience that me or some other people like Charizard King, for example, would have on opening those packs. So that there's a lot of like sneaky fraud out there that I'm always sending packs back. But yeah, it's a part of the experience, the expertise, the community, things like that, and the convenience of, because just so it's so hard to find packs still. I mean, it's a lot better now, but it's really cool for somebody like my average person will be somebody who works 40 hours a week, is exhausted, comes home, wants to have a drink, relax with their kid, and open up some packs. They don't want to be driving around in Target in circles. They don't want to be trying to figure out eBay deals or this or that with trying to get some packs. They just know Mike's got it taken care of. So they can sit down with their kids, relax, and just have a really good time. And there's no like, we got to find this and work out. So that's been really cool too. And I've paid attention to that. There's always like this. There was this one time this guy sent me, this photo was crazy. This guy sent me a photo of his family watching my stream, which always just hits different.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I can't for the life of me remember their names, but let's just say their name was Mike, and they were all the same name. It was like Mike the second, Mike the third, whatever. So I had like 3 generations of this family watching my stream, and they're all named Mike. And that was just like so cool to me. And I'm like, wow, like it may say 50 viewers when I'm opening up packs or whatever, but it could be like 100 or 120. Yeah. You never know who's watching, and to have a whole family sitting there of 3 generations just watching me open up packs is like so cool to me. But yeah, there's always a lot of value that I think my streams provide. And I always tell people, like, sometimes people will really see the value in the way that I set up the streams and how they're done. And some people won't. It's not for everybody. But my feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. I very rarely, from somebody who actually does business with me, will run into an issue. People, and they come back because they understand the advantages of just relaxing and not having to worry about going to GameStop or Target or whatever and trying to find a pack. Because I used to do that, and it drove me crazy. Although
a few people?
It was a much harder time, but still.
Yeah. You punch a few people in the face at Target?
No. Oh, another thing too is another thing people really like is the way I handle cards. To this day I haven't found any other streamer that, like, for example, I have ETB sleeves, and they have like a harder backing, like Teddy sleeves. Yeah. I sleeve every single common and every single vintage pack that I've ever opened. Nobody takes the time to do that, which is really odd to me. Like, even these higher end people, I don't want to say any names because I don't want to disrespect anybody, but like, it's kind of odd to me that people don't take the time to preserve those commons because they're still really cool.
Yeah.
So people pay for that, and then I grade them and stuff like that too for them.
Yeah, I have an addiction with sleeving older cards. If it's pack fresh-ish and it's from before 2012, every card's getting in a sleeve because you can't find those packs. I'll keep them mint.
And a lot of the times I'll open up a pack where I'm like, my favorite card wasn't even the rare or the reverse hollow. It was this common. Yeah. It was like some D-Drill or something, or some Caterpie.
Yeah, exactly. So how your TikTok journey and the rip and ships, which one came first?
That's a loaded question because I started TikTok first.
Did you?
But I
probably wasn't Pokemon content.
It wasn't. No, I was doing some funny ass shit. I used to do streaming on Twitch right before I started getting into Pokemon, and I started to get passionate about streaming video games and stuff. And I had all the time in the world because it was a pandemic and we were getting unemployment. So I was like, better now than never to give it a shot. And streaming was becoming big at the time too, because everybody was at home. so I started this personality called Sergeant Swag, which is why my Pokemon shop is called Poke-Swagg shop. It's like a reference to where I started streaming. And so I would dress up in like full combat uniform and act like an idiot on camera. And it was so funny. It was so not age appropriate. So if anybody's watching that's like under 18, don't watch it. But anyway, yeah, if you scroll back on Poke-Swagg shop, if you go all the way back, you'll see the account originally started off as Sergeant Swag, and I have some ridiculous content on there that you'll be like, what?
No, I'm definitely doing that. That's hilarious. So it was everybody knows Dr. Disrespect. So it was like your version of that essentially, and
Yeah, he was a huge
huge.
inspiration for me, and I'm very big on if you're gonna do something, you can draw inspiration from it, but don't copy it. So I had like sat down and I was like, okay, these are what I'm gonna take from Dr. Disrespect, but I need to completely do my own thing. And I feel like I really successfully did that. I have a visual effects degree, so with Dr. Disrespect, he has a visual effects team, so his stuff is really high end. So I did that in my own way too. I would talk about the content that I made, but I don't think it'd be age appropriate for your audience. But it was good content, I can promise you.
Awesome. That's awesome. So I was just thinking, like, so while I'm sitting here, is like I can't think of any people that do like rip and chips or that have a YouTube. Is there any that you know of? Any competitors out there?
Well, PokeRev, obviously. I mean, he started off box breaking. You could definitely say that that was, in a way, a rip and chip. It's not the exact same, but it's a similar formula. I think a lot of these rip and chip guys are money grabbing and running. So I don't think a lot of them have the passion to be like, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. But the ones that are, I think, are all on Whatnot or maybe something like that where, I don't know, maybe they're not developing a YouTube channel.
Yeah. So what you utilize TikTok for? What is it exactly? Is there a reason you're on it? Like,
Honestly, at first there was, but not really anymore. Anything that I post on TikTok now is just stuff that I'm posting for Instagram for our weekly updates and stuff and things that I'm doing. And I just post it on TikTok as well, and I use that as a way to make the video. And like, I don't even get any views on TikTok anymore. Like, I haven't had a video go viral in a while. I just kind of have it on there, and I've just kind of let it be because it really hasn't been essential to how I'm running my shop. So I just have it there for anybody who wants to see it.
yeah. Yep. So, like, is it I don't even know. Is it legal to like record a rip and chip that you're doing on Facebook and then post that full video to YouTube?
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like it is.
I
You're,
don't know. I wouldn't. I don't see why that would be a problem.
yeah,
But
you're just not.
that's
You're
something that I'm
not
just
sharing information.
Yeah, I've thought about making a YouTube channel, and that was one of the biggest reasons I moved into a bigger shop was I wanted to start developing a YouTube channel. But I mean, I come from a YouTube background. I know how much work it is. You know how much work it is. And best case scenario, I get a bunch of subscribers, the page blows up, and then it's just constant hate and ridicule all the time. Like, I know what it's like on the other side, and it's not being Brad Pitt in Hollywood in 1980. It's a lot of ridicule now, and nobody likes anybody famous anymore. So I'm pretty much, I would love to be passionate about making videos and doing it, but I feel like at the end of the road, best case scenario, it blows up, and then it's just like constant problems. So I've been very hesitant about being in the limelight and just enjoying what I have.
Yeah, and the way I was picturing the use of it, it was not even really making a YouTube video. It's more of just taking what you've already done on Facebook and maybe just uploading it raw as is on YouTube. And kids love pack openings. Obviously, PokeRev's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. The average age is probably closer to 18, 20, 22, a little bit younger than my demographic for my YouTube's like 28 to 35. Um, just throwing that raw content on there, I think could reach people and then they could trickle their way back to Facebook. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it.
I thought about that, and I think you're right. I'm just careful with how many eyes I want on my shop because, like, I like what I have right now. My community's so great, and we're growing slowly every week. And it's nice helping, like, getting, 10, 20 new people every week to just kind of grab it and be like, welcome, this is how we operate things. This is the vibe here. Please match the vibe. Versus, like, let's say we welcome 700 people next week. It's like, change the vibe completely, because that's such a huge chunk of that. So I've been very careful to be like, okay, I'm dialed in right now on how everybody is. Like, I don't want to stray too far. So I've been very careful about, because I know how to make viral videos. I've done a bunch of them in the past. I've just been like, I don't really want to right now. People are so, I was just telling somebody today, like, most of people's hobbies now is getting mad. Like, people like to get mad about something, or just like gossip. And that's kind of like everybody's hobby lately. So I've just kind of been like, eh. Like, I got into a huge kerfuffle last week with another account because they completely misunderstood stuff I was saying. And then they started making videos about me and shit and ridiculing me about what I was saying. And my message was just to get people to stop bullying in the hobby. And then he had his community come over and bully me. And then it was like a whole mess. And I was just like, why would I make a YouTube account so that I could drag more of this into my community?
Yeah, it's I've luckily been fortunate enough, haven't faced a whole lot of hate, but yeah, it's definitely out there for sure, man. It's a son of a gun for sure, man.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's about it just because of my background being around so many YouTubers. I've seen, I know my mental health wouldn't be able to withstand a large amount of people like hating me. Like, I don't know how Logan Paul does it, like, just, or like Donald Trump, like, everybody's talking shit about them 24/7. Like, that would get to me, dude. So I'm like, I know I couldn't stand that because I'm a sensitive person. So I'm like, I just need to recognize that and make sure that I don't put myself in that position.
Yeah, yep. I understand that for sure. Man. So what have you ever purchased like a fake booster box? Because obviously you've purchased hundreds and hundreds of them, I'm sure.
No. So I get fake booster packs every once in a while. I'm pretty good about it though. But I've gotten a few, and sometimes I've bought some just so I have them and to feel them and know what it's like to have a fake pack in my hands. But I've done a few videos on fake packs at the shop. But yeah, at this point, with the amount of experience I have, my authentication process is pretty solid to the point where it's not a problem over the camera to see that there's an issue. It's just when you get them in person, the resealing is very tricky sometimes. I'll spend a couple hours sometimes with a pack trying to decide if it's legit. It gets really complicated, especially EX era. EX era is very hard to tell if there's resealing. So you got to really know your stuff.
Yeah, I bought 2 cards off Buyee once, and they're one purchase I've ever done off Buyee, and it was fake. So, learned my lesson.
Yeah, so I did a Team Rocket booster, but the box is behind me. I did a Team Rocket booster box break in October, and I learned I'm not a WotC person, like I said earlier. So I had to really learn about Team Rocket for a bit before I made my decision. And so I bought the box, opened it, it was great. And then shortly after, a TikToker, who I eventually became friends with, he was posting, flexing that he had this box break coming up, which is awesome. Great, you're opening up a Team Rocket booster box. That's sick. Oh shit, it's fake. So he's like, we're gonna open up this box. And I like messaged him, I'm like, bro, you need to figure out what's going on with your buyer or the person you bought from, because you are about to open a fake box live. And as another person who does that, I don't want to see that happen to you, because that will be really embarrassing.
That would hurt, yeah.
And that will hurt whatever you're doing. So I messaged him, I reached out to him, and I was like, sent him a bunch of messages because I wanted him to see it. I'm like, dude, your box is fake. Like, please reach out to your original buyer. I gave him reasons why it was fake. And it was funny because he came at me pretty hard, and he was like, fuck this guy, like, he's saying my box is fake. And I was like, no, dude, I'm just trying to help you, I swear to God. And because there's so many dumb people online that'll just say something's fake when it's not. It's clearly legit. Like,
yeah.
And And so he just thought I was another one of those internet troll haters. And I was like, no, dude, please look at my shop. I opened up that box last week. Like, I know what I'm talking about, please. And so then after like 2 hours, I get a Instagram call from this guy, and I'm like, oh, I bet you he's realized. and I pick up the phone. And he's like, "Oh my God, you're right." He's like, "I need to get a hold of this guy. I paid cash, and we met up." And I was like, "Oh, dude, you're fine." Yeah, he never got his money back. It was like $6,000 down the drain. I was like, "Oh, dude," and I was like, and it's funny because I had seen that box going around and had warned everybody it was fake, and on Facebook and stuff, and on different forums I reposted like 10 times, and somehow he didn't see that and got connected with that exact same person and met and bought it. And I was like, dude. So he's still opening up boxes and stuff, and he hasn't had a fake box since that I know of.
Yeah, that's great. That's crazy. It was that Mintley?
I forgot his Instagram name. I just talked to him the other day. I might be able to pull him up. It was Dizzy Traders.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's a
guy. There's a guy, another Whatnot streamer, Mintley Collectibles, that bought a fake box. I thought it was Rocket as well, so that's crazy.
There's a lot of Team Rocket fake boxes around, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I would be pissed if I dropped that much cash.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I know my cash too, but I met up at the person's like house, so I knew if there was a problem, like.
Yeah, you saw his mom in there making spaghetti. You're like, I think I'm good. Like,
yeah, no, and he has a bunch of crazy high end boxes that he's always selling. So he currently has a Hole in Phantoms, a Delta Species, an EX Deoxys box. Like, he's got some crazy shit. So I knew it was fine. Sometimes you just know.
So what is Frankensons like? Because I see all the time different people going there when they're going to the West Coast. And that's where the party's at. So what the hell is going on there?
So unfortunately, I haven't been to like a Collecticon or anything like that yet. It's been something that's been on my bucket list, so I can't compare it to something like that. But that is like, it's really cool. It's like God, I don't even know how to describe it. It's really cool. It's just like nerd heaven. Like, everyone that's walking around is in the same mind space as you are, where they're just like super into anime, super into Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, or whatever. And it's just like a really freeing place. You like walk around, you're like, everybody's like me. This is cool. So they have a bunch of stuff like graded cards, and there's a bunch of different shops that are there. There's some booster boxes. Some are vintage, and like, if you can't find something at Frankensons, if you're into the general kind of stuff like WotC, EX stuff, like, it's going to be pretty hard to find. They generally don't have too much Japanese stuff, but sometimes they do. But it's definitely a really cool place to bring your kids and shit like that. Like, you can go crazy. It's so much fun. And generally speaking, from my experience, the prices aren't too terrible as long as you know what you're looking for and things like that, and you're buying stuff that's not as common. You can kind of just work out something versus, I don't know, a booster box of something that's modern or something. You could get a better price if you're not, if you go online and you look for it, but yeah, it's right in front of you and it's easy to grab and it's right there. So
yeah, for me, it look from me looking at videos of Frankensons, it looks like a flea market essentially, where people have their designated booths or whatever. Maybe it's more of an elaborate booth, but it's got actual what is it? The see-through glass containers. I see a bunch of those. Do they leave their cards there overnight? Like, they lock it down, or they bring everything home every night?
So yeah, yeah, I believe so. And yeah, it is like a flea market. It's pretty cool. I don't know how to describe it. It's very cool.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very like Frankensons.
There's a Collecticon going to Long Beach. You going?
Oh yeah, I meant to go to the Florida one, but some other plans came about in February, and I was unable to make it, unfortunately. So that was kind of sad. But I do plan on being the one in Long Beach. There's no reason why I shouldn't. I mean, it's right down the street from me, so it's only a 2-hour drive.
So would you vend something like that, or you go as a tourist?
I wouldn't do it for my first time just because I've never been to one before, and I'd like to experience it and know what to expect before getting being a vendor there. So I may go to a couple before I make that decision. But eventually, I've thought about the idea of being a vendor at something like Collecticon, and having vintage boxes broken and stuff like that, just for anybody to come grab and, stream it on Facebook, etc. So that definitely is something I've thought about, and maybe that'd be something cool in the future where I can get my community together and be like, hey, if you got something for sale, send it to me. We'll consign it, and we'll get a whole booth together. Because I'm sure with 4,000 people on my Facebook, we can get some really cool stuff together for that booth. So that could be an idea too. So I definitely wouldn't throw that out of the park. I would definitely be open to doing that in the future. I just got to get some Collecticons under my belt before I go and start trying to be a vendor there.
Yep. Yeah, I'm hoping for sure Denver, maybe Kansas City, and maybe Long Beach. Those are the only three that I might be going to. We'll see.
Wait, there's one going to Kansas City?
Yeah.
When is that?
Good question. I don't know.
Dude, my best friend lives in Kansas City right now, and he's going to Kansas University, and they just won their basketball thing.
Yep.
And dude, it's ridiculous. Like, Party Town is an understatement. There was like 10,000 people flooding the streets, all drunk, partying like the past month every weekend for basketball. And it is the most unreal thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, why didn't I take a trip out to Kansas for this month is beyond me. But that'd be a good to go out there is to do the Collecticon stuff.
Yep. No, yeah, I can't make the one in Charlotte and the one in Texas. I've gone to two of them in Texas last year, but not this time. Not this time. It's a good time though. You're gonna love it. It's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, I'd love to go. I'd like to do a little meet and greet with my community as well, if anyone can make it out there to like hang out with them and open up some packs and stuff. So
yeah,
that would be cool too.
Anybody at Frankenstein's or in public ever run into you like, hey man, like what's going on? Like
not really actually.
No?
I think not yet, but I haven't been to Frankenstein's in a while. The last time I went to Frankenstein's was in December, so I need to get my shit together. But I can't remember anybody coming up to me and being like, hey. So yeah, but usually I'm going up to everybody and saying hi. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. Are you still buying or selling at all in Facebook groups?
No.
No.
Once I was a couple months into my shop, I left all those. Well, I didn't leave them. I was still there, but I kind of just stopped doing them. Not because I don't support them or like them, but I have my own platform. I'm going to use it, and I don't want to step on anybody else's toes. Other people can use that platform for their advantage and, sell their cards. And I don't need to use that platform usually. So sometimes, every once in a while, I'll post something, but I try to be in my own space as much as possible, not to like overshadow anybody else.
Yeah.
Because if I'm selling a card that's similar to somebody else that's selling one on that platform, and they give me the business instead of that guy on that platform, and be like, dude, you have your own shop. Like, just sell it on your own platform instead of overstepping our deals. So that's kind of how I've seen it. But yeah, when I first started, I tried to get involved in Pokemon World, but oh my god, I have a deep hatred for them. They don't run their account at all, and honestly, the reason for scalping, a big reason, is because of that forum.
Yeah, it's an open marketplace essentially, right? They don't have restrictions on prices or what gets posted, right?
Well, I've got into it pretty heavily with them a handful of times, and the problem that they will do is that they will openly support like ridiculous scalping, and somebody will post a Shining Fates ETB for like $150, and they don't monitor that, which is fine, whatever. If you want the whole freedom of speech thing, then go for it. But then you have people ridiculing him in the comments being like, yo, this dude's a scalper, why are you posting this for $150? And then they ban that guy. And it's like, what are you doing? So they have this whole platform like catering towards people trying to oversell, and they're hiring all these people to do their rip-in ships on their platform that are very clearly not Pokemon people. They're just in it for the money. And it's just super shady. And I've like, again, if you want to make money off the hobby and you actually love it, go for it. But if you're not actually into the hobby, get the hell out of here, dude. That's how I feel. So, yeah, it was like a lot of sports card guys just like taking advantage of the page and stuff. And they, in my opinion, they made scalping very possible for a lot of people. And I feel like that was the problem of that. And that was why a lot of those Targets and Walmarts and things were just not stocked for such a long time. And without a page like that, I don't think it would have been as nearly as possible. It would have still been around, but I don't think it would have been as bad.
Yeah. Yep. That's for sure. You play Legends Arceus at all, or what's the last game you played?
No, dude. I like barely played the new Pearl, and then I just haven't been. I've had this weird thing with video games lately where I just haven't been able to like enjoy them lately. I don't know why. I'm in this weird space lately where every time I go and sit down and play a video game, I'm just like, and I walk away. So it's been like that for the past like 3 or 4 months. So I'm hoping that ends sometime soon.
Yep. Yeah, I pretty much for me it was my work-life balance thing. Like as soon as I started doing the YouTube and the buying and selling and collecting, it pretty much just shut out video games. I do it a little bit here and there, but is there like what do you do for fun now? Is it a lot more than 40 hours of work and is like not a lot of you time or
It used to be that way, but I've been really working on my mental health lately and trying to focus on my personal life a lot more. And my business has kind of grown to a spot where I'm like, okay, I can put it in autopilot for a bit while I focus on myself.
yeah.
So I've been doing less hours lately, just kind of trying to figure out where I'm at. Because I was at a spot where my dad is he works a ton, and I've always told myself like I don't want to be like you where I'm working so much I have no like free time. And so I was at a spot in the shop where I was working like every waking moment, which is great because I love what I do and I'm super happy to be here. But I got to a point where I only had like one day off every like 6 months. And it was, I think, December where I had a day off and like I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know how, like what my personality was anymore. And I was like yelling at myself in the car. I'm like, what, who are you? Like, you don't even know who you are anymore. You've been working so much. Like, what do you want? You're not going to work. What are you going to do today? And I'm like, I don't know. So I've been spending a lot of time like trying to figure out like where I'm at. So I've been doing that the past couple months. But so I've been having little mini vacations and like trying to like just relax a little bit. But it's been nice.
Yeah. No, you definitely gotta pamper yourself and you gotta it's all
Yeah.
mental, man. You gotta keep it strong, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I recently got glasses. I'm having a huge problem with my eyes. I'm not sure what's going on, but looking at digital screens has like messed up my eyesight so badly. And I've been trying to deal with that. And so I've been trying to keep my eyes off the screen a little bit more and be more conscious about it. But when that's your work, it's very hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I did an eye test like 3 years ago, they said every 30 minutes you need to just stare into the distance. I'm like, oh, okay. Just it's hard to like remember to do that ever. It's
Right. Yeah. What have you been
uh
doing for in your free time? Are you still fully doing cards and stuff, or what else are you doing?
yeah, I work full time. I got a 9 to 5. So this is literally just I work 9 to 5. I got a wife, 2 kids that are 2 and 4. So that's my after work time until probably 9:30, sometimes 10, and I'm up till about 1 a.m. my time just doing this YouTube and also just sorting cards, listing on eBay. So this is definitely a side hustle. My job is my priority. And I also have college. I've been going to school for like 13 years, slowly. Um, so it's I don't have a lot of time. I need more. I need more time.
What do you do for work? I forgot. Um,
I sell automotive fasteners. So my customer's Ford Motor Company, and I live not far from that where they manufacture the cars, and we make specialty fasteners that replace old weld fasteners. The way they used to weld cars together and all that, we're kind of replacing it with a new modern technology, essentially.
oh, cool. Wow,
Yep.
that's a big client to have.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just a little company called Ford.
Yeah. No. Exactly. It's pretty cool, man. I love what I do. It's awesome.
Yeah, that sounds really cool, and that sounds like a lot of work too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not 40 hours a week most of the time, unfortunately, but it's got benefits. So
What
and
is
I
what are you going for school then if you're doing that right now?
I going to school for mechanical engineering, and like I said, I've been going to school college for 13 years. Part time, I've always focused on work, so I'd take like one class a semester. So it's just I'm like 10 classes away, which is like 5 years. Which
Yeah.
the normal person that goes full time could probably finish that in a year with a summer class. So that's where I'm at. Just it's probably 5 more years of school because I'm doing one class a semester.
Yeah. I used to do a lot of college while I was in high school at the same time, so I can relate to like picking up classes here and there.
Yep. Where'd
Well,
you
it's a lot.
get your degree from?
Well, I got my degree from LA Film School in visual effects and video game design, actually, and directing. So those three things, and I did a couple of years at my local college too while I was in high school. So, but I got an associate's of science in those three categories, which I never really ended up using. I always wanted to be a director, and
Yeah.
I was doing it at such a young age, and then 2016 rolled along and everything became very, very political. And we kind of went into this cultural shift where everything changed. And so at the time, I kind of looked at everything and I was like, I'm not wanting to do this anymore because of how political everything has gotten. So then I found myself doing social media, and then I started doing marketing with social media, and then found out that that was kind of where I lie.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how it's funny. I was
Yeah.
telling my tax guy, I was like, I don't know anything about running a business, but I know about marketing, and that's how I get by.
That's it. Marketing and sales, man. That's all you need to know, right?
Yeah. Once this tax season's over, I'll be able to buy a lot of more Pokemon cards. I've been trying to, especially first year of business, with a like full on business. You just have so many taxes to pay in California and things. It's been kind of having me on hold lately.
When you move into Vegas.
Right, exactly. I need to move out of the state somewhere. I've been thinking about it. It's something that hopefully I'll be able to do. But I'm living at home with my parents right now, and that's been really nice. And they've been really like open to just kind of me. I have a good relationship with them, so they're like, "Well, why move out?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess." So
Yeah. Hell yeah.
everything's expensive right now. Like I'm looking at the housing market, and I'm just like, dude, why?
It's nuts. Yeah. I remember like I just moved out of my 900 square foot house and I was going to take a job in California in the Bay Area. For my current job, they were going to have me go kind of out there to handle Tesla. And looking at that would have been about $5,000 a month to rent a house the same size I currently lived in. And my mortgage was $500 a month
Yep.
in Michigan. So I was like, y'all are gonna have to pay me a lot more than what I'm making now to get the hell over there. And it didn't make sense. Like it's insane that people can survive in
Yeah.
some of those areas.
It's really hard. It's really difficult. The They just make it so inhabitable. I don't understand how people come out of state into California. That's really gets me. If anybody's moving into state, they have to be extremely wealthy, because gas right now is 640. So
Yep.
just anything driving around, like it's just so much, and they demand so much. And now doing taxes, they just want like everything, and it's just like like even just my little shop here, it's $1,000 a month, and that's a good deal. And it's like so much money, and then you want to get an apartment, it's like at least $4,000 for something that's not even nice, but just decent. Like for an apartment, it's just like unrealistic right now.
Yeah, that's insane. My sister, who's 20, I'm 31, she'll be 26 this year, graduated college from Columbia Art School in Chicago with similar media. Wants to be a writer on a sitcom is probably her dream. Um, but she moved out to LA from Chicago with like $100,000 already in student loan debt and is trying to make it. And it's she's fine. She got landed a job. She's at HBO now, HBO Max, working as an assistant, and she's slowly making her way. But there ain't no way in hell she's got bigger stones than I do because that's a lot of money coming out of college at the age of 21 with 100,000 plus dollars in student loan debts without a thing besides this piece of paper, which is
Yeah, that's crazy. Good for her. I'm glad that she's making it at HBO. That's awesome. Not a lot of people would be able to do that. That's a pretty ballsy move.
yeah, it's
I
Yeah.
could never do that.
No.
The only reason
Yeah.
I'm here is just because I was born here. I'm like, I'm nervous about just moving out of state to somewhere cheaper, let alone somewhere that's drastically more expensive. It's like my whole life is here, so it's like just ditching everybody and starting over. Just get. I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah. Wasn't there like a mass exit because Logan Paul left? A lot of YouTubers had left California because they were getting wrecked by taxes. A lot of them stayed, obviously, because they were making tons of money. But I know Graham Stephan, who I watch, financial advisor, left and went to Vegas because he's now saving 15% a year on taxes and all that garbage for his business. That's an insane amount of money, like
Yeah, yeah.
just across borders.
Everybody's moving. I mean, that's why Logan Paul lives in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Everybody giving him shit for that, and I was like, he's just smart. Like, go for it, dude.
Yeah, he's probably there once a week out of the month, and he lives there, right? So
It's probably not even, honestly, I don't even think it's once a week out of a month. I think it's more of like maybe 2 weeks out of every 6 months. That's his home address, and he's always traveling for work. I mean, it's not necessarily that he's not even living there. It's just that he doesn't really live anywhere right now. He's like bouncing all over. I mean, if you watch Impulsive, it's like every week they're in a different state. I don't know how they do it.
Yep.
Crazy. That'd be fun though, to be always traveling, but I don't know. It seems like really stressful.
Yeah, he seems like he's the never satisfied guy. I definitely have kept up with him with all the impulsives and all that, and he's definitely a never satisfied, fighting Mayweather and just wanting to do more he's trying to one up himself every single time. And I don't know, I don't know, you get burnt out eventually on something, and he's gonna end up at the ranch riding horses and riding side by sides, I think. But I don't
Yeah.
know.
And good for him. Hopefully he gets a lot done before he ends up there. I mean, if he dropped off the face of the earth today, he would have accomplished a lot. So it'll be interesting to see what he's going to do in the future. I've borrowed a lot of my work ethic and attitude and the way that I view things from watching him. So he's been a huge inspiration for me opening up my shop. My shop wouldn't exist without Logan Paul, which is why I'm so openly supporting him all the time.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, I think he's cool. So, for me, it was when stuff happened in Japan with him, everybody started hating on him, and obviously he deserved every bit of that. But for me, I thought it was interesting because I was like, every 99% of everybody in the world who was in Logan's situation would crawl in an abyss and never be seen again. Like, that is probably the worst thing you could have possibly done. It was extremely stupid and disrespectful and dumb and just like everything you could possibly think about saying bad things about that you can just imagine. And for me at the time, I looked at that and I was like, it'll be very interesting to see if he crawls out of that, because I don't know anybody that could do that, and he did. And watching him kind of reinvent not only his career but reinvent himself, like he's a completely different person than when he did.
Yeah.
And for him to look in the mirror and be like, you fucking suck. I need to change everything about myself right now and become a better person. And seeing him like successfully actually do that and like carry on with a way better career than he had originally was inspiring for me. Like, just as I watched him do it, it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely come a long way from those times. It's crazy to see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody fucks up and nobody's perfect, but I always find it very interesting to see how people react to the mistakes that they make, because that to me is what counts, because we're all human. We're all bound to make mistakes and do stupid shit. And if you given me $20 million and filmed me at 20 years old, I would have done way dumb shit. So everybody acts like they would have been perfect. It's like, dude, you're giving a 20-year-old millions of dollars to make stupid content, and the crazier it gets, the more money he makes. What do you think he's gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. It would not, and having a brother, like, it would just.
Yeah, and the brother just a dumb shit as well. So you just have the two instigating each other 24/7, and then you have Greg Paul, who's less to be desired. I mean, he's some work. So the whole dynamic is just like crazy. What do you expect, So it's been very interesting to watch how it's unfolded the past decade of them going from Vine and YouTube and all that.
Yeah. Yep. Crazy times, man. Really looking forward to the future. I know it's going to be bright. I think Logan's supposed to be dropping a video this month of the way his acquisition, I think, of the Illustrator card. So that'll be really interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see it. Hayden's always really good at editing those videos, and I feel like every single video he touches, especially Logan's videos, are just so iconic. Like every time I watch his editing, I'm just like, man, he knows what he's doing, dude. Like, I hope Logan's paying him a lot of money because he deserves it. He's like the main reason Logan is who he is today, in my opinion. Like, without those videos being perfectly executed the way they were, there's no way, dude. In every project, he has Hayden editing it and stuff. I'm just like, I hope he's paying you well, dude, because you deserve it.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, he's definitely some really good content. So, well, Mr. Mike, what are your standard hours for your shop, just so we could get it plugged in here? What are your, like, when do you go live typically on your shop?
So typically I go live Thursday. I'm not live today because I put some time aside for this. But typically I go live Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'll run that on Friday and Saturday as well. So between those 3 days, people can open up their packs and stuff like that. And then I spend the rest of the week dealing with how that comes into place. That's marketing, acquiring my inventory from my network of shops that I work with, and trying to get the next rip and ship weekend set up. Because every weekend I try to do the craziest shit. I'm like always trying to one up myself too. So it's like I'm trying to keep it as interesting as possible. Not only just for everybody else, but for myself too. Like I really want to genuinely be excited and passionate about every weekend that happens here. So
Yeah.
I'm switching it up and doing stuff. So when people join into my streams, they can honestly walk in and be like, I have no idea what to expect. Because some weekends will open up like in February or January, we opened up EX Unseen Forces, which is a set that like is untapped essentially. I mean, the last person that opened that up was Poke-Rev over a year ago. Nobody's touched that box. It's so rare. So we've had a beautiful opportunity to be able to open up some really cool stuff, and I've been really fortunate to be able to be a front runner for that. So there's always pull boxes, and we do raffles sometimes, and just rip and ship and just have fun. And it's Japanese, English, and modern and vintage. But I usually don't open anything in the WotC era because you can weigh it. So past WotC, you can't really weigh anything. There's some kind of like iffy stuff, but unless you have a full box in front of you, you can't really weigh anything.
Yeah.
So every pack that I have come in does get weighed for its documentation purposes. And so I've weighed over 800 vintage packs past the WotC era, and they're not consistent. And they're all documented.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know it's different generally from box to box. Like some heavies could be closer to a lightweight, definitely box to box. But generally, it's pretty consistent within the same box, is what I see. Which is why people do weigh out the lights and heavies and grade some of the lights and sell the heavies. And but yeah, it's pretty wild how all that's different.
Yeah, not to hate on what anybody else is doing, because I think it's great that we're opening up these boxes. But some people recently have started doing box breaks where they offer the packs and people can buy them, and then they'll weigh them and then open up the packs that are heavy and keep the light ones, which is cool. But now I'm thinking, like, if anybody wants to buy loose packs, the market's just going to be flooded with light ones. So I'm thinking about the ramifications of doing that. And I'm like, I think we should just open all of them. But it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
And packs are pretty expensive. So, but it does leave me a little disappointed for the future, because I know we're just going to have a flood of light packs coming in from everybody opening up their boxes and weighing the lights.
Yep. A lot of people will be grading them when that gets a little cheaper. So
yeah,
we'll see.
That's true. I don't know how the grading is now though with PSA, because I knew that the guys that did Logan's box were grading them. So are they still doing that? Because if they are,
so
we wouldn't be grading my packs with them.
Yeah, I was told they were authenticating them. They were the authenticators, and PSA would slab and grade. I don't know. I think it's still happening because I feel like people are still submitting cards, but I haven't heard differently, so I don't know. But yeah, I'd definitely be. I don't know. They definitely made a terrible mistake with that first edition base set box.
Yeah.
So that's the way it goes. It's,
That my favorite part of that video is like when he's like, "We've been duped, agreed." You duped everyone else. It's not we've been duped. It's you. You duped everyone.
Yeah, we've been duped, agreed, and he starts looking at everybody like,
Yeah, like
agreed.
I always laugh so hard when I see that part. I'm just like, what, dude? You can tell he was nervous. Like, dude, like I get it. Everybody makes mistakes, but you authenticated a box, bro. Just a box. You didn't even look inside. Like, what was the point of you wrapping it? Like, you wrapped it. You might as well have cut open the box and checked. You rewrapped it with your own seal. So, and that's what even Logan said on his podcast. He was like, dude, I bought it because of their wrap. I didn't, like, you didn't open it?
Exactly.
Silly.
Yeah,
So,
the way they do wax, luckily, like old sports cards, it isn't sealed, so they could just lift up the flap. Oh, that's good. Close it and seal it. So
yeah.
they definitely should have looked at it.
Yeah, it's so odd to me. And I'm just surprised that PSA is third-party authenticators for packs. Shouldn't that just be done right in PSA? I don't understand. That just leaves more room for shit to go wrong in the mail and stuff. And they're a big enough company. I don't understand why they would be third-partying anything.
Yeah, I wish they would just even dump the whole grade thing and just have an authenticator. Yep. Pack is real. Pack is sealed. And
I agree with that 100%. And I didn't even like their slabs for the packs until recently. They changed them so the flaps were out instead of folded in. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to fold in those flaps. That looked so dumb.
oh yeah, it does.
I was like, what? So they only
Feel bad for those guys that collected a bunch of those.
yeah. I'm like, I'd rather not do that. But yeah, I like the idea of just authenticating the pack, but I don't know. It's kind of odd.
Oh yeah.
Authenticate those because for me, it's like, as somebody who's been opening them, I send it to PSA and I'm like, who is authenticating those packs? Because it's not nearly as easy as being like, this is a real card. Okay, let's grade it now. Like, who are they hiring at PSA that would be somebody that would authenticate packs? Because I guarantee you they're not somebody who's opened as many packs as like me or Poke-Rev or whatever. So it just kind of feels weird as somebody who would be an authenticator, as somebody that people go to for authentication to see what they're doing and just being like, there's no way they could possibly do that unless they had somebody just like who's opened 1,000 vintage packs just randomly deciding he wants to start working at PSA, which would never happen because if they're in that position, there's some YouTuber or whatever, myself. So I don't think they can do that ever. It's just there's too many variables.
Yep. Crazy.
We've seen people crack those packs and in the past, and they've been resealed or fake. I know there was an EX Deoxys one floating around recently that was like super obviously fake that they graded. And it was just like, what are you guys doing? Did you see that Deoxys one?
I have not. No.
Oh, it was funny. I had a good
Pretty
laugh.
rough looking.
Yeah, I was like, bro, have you guys never seen EX Deoxys before? It was like completely different. It was so bad. It was like you didn't have to open up any packs and know it was fake. So I was like, dude, if they authenticated that, then what the heck else is getting through?
Yeah, I can only imagine the amount of things I've gotten through. It's
yeah,
probably staggering at minimums.
yeah.
I'm gonna ask you real quick some rapid questions here. We're gonna wrap it up. You have 5 seconds to give me an answer, otherwise you lose, and you don't want to know what happens when you lose. You got to give me a free Gold Star Kyogre.
Oh, okay. All right.
But so 2021, what is your favorite set printed in that year?
2021, probably Evolving Skies.
Agreed. So 2022, we only have one set. Do you think it is better than Evolving Skies, Brilliant Stars?
Yeah, Brilliant Stars is a great set, and it's hard to say if they're better or not because a lot of them are honestly like the same Pokemon, like Rayquaza and Umbreon. Like they all get put into this one, and they get new VMAX alternative arts, which is super awesome. I really like the ability to open up Brilliant Stars and not have like a black or white code card that defines how I'm going to feel about that pack. Like I can pull an alternative art out of a white code card and it not have the black border, and it would be like an Umbreon VMAX because the VMAX Climax set is in the reverse hollow slot. So it's fantastic to not worry about the code card anymore. And technically, possibly, you could pull something like an Umbreon VMAX alternative art and a Charizard alternative art in the same pack. I haven't done it, and I don't know anyone else that has, but technically you could. So I like that. But I'm a huge sucker for the alternative arts in the Evolving Skies. I'm a big fan of them. So I don't know if one is better than the other. I think it really just depends on your taste, especially since they're such similar Pokemon.
You completely almost, I'd say you failed the 5-second rule, but so I'll send you my PO box for the I appreciate it. What is your favorite go-to restaurant in your area?
Oh man, Finney's Craft House down the street is a really good one. They have these awesome tacos that are pretty awesome. So if you come to Westlake in that area in LA, it's a good spot and it's cheap.
Oh, that's what I'm all about. That In-N-Out, that's where I'm at when I'm in California.
Yes, sir. If you ever eat an In-N-Out when you're not in the mood, though, it's really gross. You have to be in the mood for In-N-Out.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been to Whataburger. Whataburger's in Texas and maybe Oklahoma. Really good. Love Whataburger.
Everybody always talks highly of it, so it's on my to-do list.
It's very good. Highly recommend. What's your favorite like Oasis getaway location? Because I know you mentioned you like been going on some trips.
Yeah, a mini vacation that I like to do. I just did Big Sur, and that was a fantastic trip. I've always wanted to go there. And I like to go to Ojai, which is very, very close. And they have this like disconnected California vibe where I like to go there and just watch people play with their dogs in the park and stuff. It's just like really therapeutic because I hate the California lifestyle of like, all right, what's the most expensive thing I can drive, and what's the what's going on Instagram or whatever. It's just nice to see real people. So I like to go out there and people watch and hike and drive. They have a lot of great roads out there. So if you're looking to like go to LA and you get tired of their vibe, Ojai is the next good spot.
Oh, yeah. No, I feel like you can get out of the LA style and get into like a campground area pretty quickly with the mountains right next to you. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool quickly with traffic, I guess. But
Yeah, I love camping. I love being outdoors. It's like great.
So you have to sell your whole collection tomorrow. Which card are you keeping? One or not card, what one item are you keeping?
It's so hard. I would literally drag my whole life to the ground before I got rid of my Japanese stuff. But God, it'd have to be. I honestly, it would. I've asked myself that a million times, and I still don't have an answer. But I would have to say it's between the Rayquaza Gold Star and my Crystal Charizard. The Rayquaza Gold Star was my first Grail, so it holds a lot of sentimental value. Plus, as a kid, I observed it a lot. But as I continue to have the Crystal Charizard, I start to appreciate it more than the Rayquaza just because of how beautiful it is.
Hell yeah. No, that's a great answer. And I'm glad that Kyogre's not in the top 2. So you say there's a chance.
If I ever sell it, you'll be the only person I call. I promise you. I may get another one and have a second one because I am looking for a cleaner copy, even though it is a PSA 10. PSA wasn't always so accurate about those 10s. So I am actively looking for a cleaner copy. So maybe one day.
Hell yeah. No, I'd appreciate it, man. I appreciate you taking the time to come on my podcast, my interview podcast, whatever it is. It's I wish I had a bunch of hot wings. I'm a real big fan of hot ones, so we could do that type of interaction, but it'd be pretty cool. But it's I like doing this. It's fun meeting all these different collectors, talking nerdy with people, and getting you guys to talk about your businesses that most of you I have talked to have, and really awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Josh, it's my pleasure. One day I have been wanting to start a podcast, so it's been really nice to sit down and chat with you, and seeing your YouTube channel grow from 50 subscribers has been really fun. I have spent a lot of time watching your videos, and I love how grounded they are. That's my favorite part about them. You're just like sitting in it's your basement, right? Just sitting in your basement, like, this is my return, this is what's going on, and yeah. I don't know what it is about your content, but the way you make it and the way you talk and just you're so real about it and it's just so laid back. I think you know what it is. I think it's a lot of people in the Pokemon space. They like to just be like, like flashing it and everything, and you're just like, I don't know, just the relaxing, therapeutic way that you do your channel is kind of cool. So hats off to you. Been a fan for a while.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I got some heat for not having an awesome reaction to my jungle pack I got out of the Poke-Rev mystery pack. Um, I got one of his mystery packs. I don't know if you saw that, but I got a gold pack, got
I
a
did not.
jungle pack. I got a jungle pack, opened it. I didn't even weigh it. I just opened it, and it was a Kangaskhan non-hollow, and I was kind of like, I lost money, even though I got a vintage pack. Like, that kind of sucks. So I didn't have the best reaction because I don't open packs on my channel. So a lot of people that came to my thing because Poke-Rev was in my description, they're like, "Oh, this guy didn't get excited. I would have been so excited." Well, I just spent $60 and lost money with a jungle pack. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
But-
Sometimes we're just bummed out, and that's okay. I would prefer you be more real about your reaction than trying to fake it. It's so funny because I always joke around with people that I feel like I'm the only like real reaction streamer because I'll open up like really high end packs for people, and sometimes they're bad, and that's just how it goes. And I'll be so straight about it. I'll just be like, bro, you got destroyed. That was terrible. No one expects that. And they're like,
Yep.
what? All these other streamers are always hyping everything up. I'm like, no, dude, like sometimes you have bad packs. It's just life.
Yep. Yeah, that was like the best part about the Logan Paul first stream was his best friend Mike Malak. He's like, is that a hot dog coming out of the hole? Like just
Yeah,
Jesus.
roasting the fuck out of all the packs.
He's like, another item finder? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I was dying. That was the best part by far.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I was laughing so hard at that. I thought he was a great commentator for that box break. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. But all right, Mike. Again, I appreciate coming on, man. We'll cut it here and I'll let you get to you. It's only 8:20 where you're at. You got the whole night ahead of you. And
Yes, sir. I'm
That's
really
awesome.
sorry it took us so long to get everything together. I've been wanting to do this for a while, so I appreciate you being patient with me. I wasn't trying to run away from you. I was just missing
No,
you.
you're good.
I'm sorry.
You're good. I gotta go find that original TikTok now where you bash me and go look at some of your old stuff. So I'll link all your info down below. I'll
Okay.
likely list to post this on Saturday, maybe Monday, just because it's the holiday weekend. Might do Monday.
Good. I'll
So-
share it with my community. I'm sure they'd love to come check it out and support your channel. I did post your channel a little bit today, but I plan on shooting it around later this week once the video is up. So
Yep. Yeah, I'll let you know when I post it up. But appreciate it again, man. I will definitely be in touch. All right.
yeah, this was fun. Nothing but respect, Josh. I appreciate you, man.
Hell yeah. Keep up the grind, man. You have a good one.
You too. Thank you for everything you do for the hobby, man. Appreciate
No
you
problem.
being here.
Talk to you later, man.
Bye.
Peace.